Alright, hi guys. I wanted to do something different today and just do a little question and answer time. Alright, so you might be wondering what our inspiration was for this whole idea. And I don't know that it's one particular thing, but I would say I was the one who pretty much came up with the idea. The timing of that kind of coincided with me feeling like I needed to spend more time with our kids. We were just getting caught up in life and not really making time for our family. We were too busy getting projects done around the house, too busy with our jobs, and it just wasn't leaving enough time for the kids. Since we have to work, we still have to maintain full-time jobs, we still have a house we have to keep up with. You know, full-time travel isn't realistic for us, and it's not realistic for a lot of people, so we just thought we would show people that even though you have a life to live and responsibilities, anybody can make time for their family and do fun stuff and teach your kids valuable lessons. So that's kind of what we're hoping to inspire other families to do. What do you say?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's worked out pretty good.
For the most part, it has.
Yeah. Sometimes we have to really find time to do these adventures, and we feel like we're cramming it into our already busy schedule, but sometimes it's forced family time, but there's nothing wrong with forced family time. I think in the end, when this is all said and done, the kids are going to look back on these things, and I think we will too, and say, you know, that was neat that we got to do those kinds of things. All right, so next question, how do we balance full-time jobs, kids, school, and just responsibilities of life and owning a home?
We don't. It's a giant train wreck. I'm just kidding. It's really not that bad. Undoubtedly, it takes a fair amount of work to make all this happen. We have to balance schooling, we have to balance our jobs, and going on adventures.
So the jobs that we have are a little unique in the sense of our schedules allow us to we're away for long hours, but we're also home with our kids and our family more. So Jim is a full-time fireman, and I'm a full-time paramedic. And although, like I said, it makes for long hours, when we do get a decent amount of time off, just the way our schedules work out. So we're actually home with our kids more than the average parents who have a Monday through Friday job, and we're able to do our adventures on weekdays, which is nicer because then we have less crowds to deal with and just less people. But as far as school goes, this year we're trying something new. I'm attempting to homeschool the kids this year, and we'll see how it goes. It's kind of, for us, it's a one-year trial. There's a lot of reasons that went into that. Obviously, it has nothing to do with this, but you know, it's something that we're trying to do, and it will actually, the good thing about it is it will allow us to be able to teach through the adventures we're doing and find opportunities to teach no matter where we are, what we're doing, just kind of teaching through life, which is something I'm really looking forward to doing with the kids. Admittedly, we're not getting as much done around the house as we were before, but like I said, I think in the end, we can't argue that spending time with our kids is definitely more important than you know, house projects. So we try and make it work. We're trying to figure out how to balance it all, and so far it's worked out. We've done small adventures. If you guys have been keeping up with our videos, we've also done bigger adventures, trips. So it's kind of a good mix, and so far we're enjoying it.
So I'm sure you're all dying to know, how do we get these awesome shots of us and our family, and how do we make the magic happen? So Jess, because she's a technical person, she's gonna talk a little bit about the types of equipment that we use to film.
For anybody who thinks that they can't make YouTube videos, you really just need a couple of basic things and you're good to go in a movie maker program. For me, I use iMovie for pretty much everything. It's easy to use. But as far as most of our videotaping, like right now, we're using an iPhone. An iPhone is great. I mean, they take really good pictures, really good video. For the most part, it's worked out well, and we carry them everywhere, so It's not like we needed extra equipment for that. So our iPhones have been our biggest asset as far as that goes. Something I recently, well, after I think our first or second adventure, I added to our little arsenal of equipment was this cool like gimbal device. Do you have your phone?
Gimbal. Is it really called a gimbal?
I don't know.
Is that just a brand? I don't even know. I hold a phone occasionally, and that's how we make that magic happen when I'm the cameraman. But this is pretty cool.
Yeah, this one's pretty cool.
This device is like has a, what is that, gyroscope? Like a gyroscopic, like...
This thing has been amazing. So as you can see, no matter which way I go, the phone stays exactly where I want it to stay. So what this does is it allows us to, let me see if I can turn it around here. Oops, nope. Just turn it around like this. This allows us to get some smooth shots. The first adventure, it was horrible.
Yeah.
The later ones, much better.
We realized that kind of movement needed to be corrected.
So I would say, you know, it's fairly cheap, and it's made a world of difference as far as getting nice smooth shots so people don't feel sick when they're watching the video. Let's see, we have our basic Canon. We love Canon, by the way. We've had this camera forever, but it's a digital SLR. Takes beautiful pictures. Everybody thinks that, you know, professional photographers are taking our pictures, and they're not. The camera does most of the work, but I'm still learning better ways to take pictures with this camera. You can pretty much do anything with this camera. So whether you're an amateur or a professional, this is going to be your go-to type of camera.
Well, now they do videos.
Yes.
And they'll do, what is it, 4K, 1080p. It's amazing what they come up with in the meantime.
We definitely want to upgrade ours, but we love it. And last but not least, my favorite little guy, our little GoPro Hero 5 Session. And this little guy, although it doesn't have a screen, I think without a screen, you're less likely to watch the back of it, and you kind of just concentrate on living in the moment and getting the shot. But it's been perfect for underwater video, above water video. It's just great, and it's so little and compact that we can take it anywhere and you hardly notice it's there.
Well, you saw some of our adventures, you know, when we went climbing down through that cave and stuff. There, you know, the opportunity for us to drop these cameras and stuff exists. So having something that's shockproof, dustproof, and waterproof is a must. So.
Yeah, so we're not lugging our iPhones into some pretty crazy areas. Let's see here. Oh, question. Do our kids travel well?
They are angels. Don't ever let anybody tell you that, you know, your kids can't do it. Because if we can do it, you can do it too.
Yeah. Everybody excited to be up at 6 a.m.?
I'm going. What are we doing tomorrow?
We're going hiking and swimming.
Oh my gosh, again!
Yeah, that's what this trip is all about.
Still fun.
They're not perfect. They're kids.
They're kids.
And I'm a human too. Just like, you know, there's days you catch us, we're in a bad mood, or we're grumpy or hangry or something. They get the same way. So you gotta be willing to work through it a little bit sometimes.
We often in our videos show most of the good parts. We don't want to put out there that our kids are misbehaved all the time, because it's not nice to them, and everybody knows that kids are misbehaved. But we've had moments. And I will say this, the more we do it, the better they seem to be getting. I am a strong believer in the more you expose your kids to these sort of things, the better they will get. They can do it. They just have to get used to it. It just has to become normal for them. So if you're not the type of family that travels a lot and you suddenly start traveling, don't expect perfection right away, but it will get better. How do we decide what our next adventure is?
Throw a dart.
So a lot of it comes down to timing. How much time do we have? How much money do we have to take a trip?
Yeah, because again, we're not rich. Don't let us fool you.
No, we're not. We're public servants.
Hopefully we didn't fool you. Yeah, no, we're just we're a pretty average family.
Yeah, we just sometimes if we don't have a lot of time, we'll try and find something closer. We try and mix it up so the kids aren't, we're not always hiking or doing something, and we're trying to expose our kids to different things. So we're definitely thinking outside the box often.
Since Jess is super organized, I'd like to pose a question to you. How exactly? Do you have a tip for packing? Put it that way. When we have to pack to go on big trips,
I do.
What do you do?
We've taken enough trips now that I feel like I've gotten this down pretty good. So I found that 4 is the magic number. I pack enough outfits for everybody to last us about 4 days. Except underwear. I take extra underwear. I don't know why.
There's always that potential, I guess.
If we're staying somewhere with a washer and dryer, that works out perfect. If we're not, have ideas for washing stuff on the road. It's not ideal, but we could do it. But as long as we take the clothes that can mix and match for 4 days, it's just enough that we're not overpacking, and then we limit the number of shoes we take too. So I take a good pair of sneakers, a good pair of sandals for hiking. I love Teva, I love Merrell. They do awesome for hiking sandals. But
it's an oxymoron, hiking sandals.
No, they I've hiked
Whatever.
everywhere
Anyway,
in my Merrells.
Merrells, I like Merrell.
Yeah,
I like you.
my
Merrell.
feet
Teva
don't
too,
hurt at all.
They make great boots.
So that's, I think, my tip. And I recently stumbled upon packing cubes. Packing cubes. I might have to do a video just on how to pack with packing cubes because they're amazing.
Brace yourselves. That'll be exciting.
Yes. But it allows me to get all of, like, we basically have a suitcase that has like a lid compartment and a bottom compartment, and I've been able to pack all 5 of our clothes and minus our toiletries, but clothes and shoes in that bag for our trip. So eliminating the amount of luggage we have to take makes, in my opinion, traveling less stressful. So finding the right luggage is another good one. We went through a couple of ideas and settled on a couple of pieces that we really like, and it's really made a big difference. And for the kids, it's a matter of making them leave unnecessary things behind. They always want to take toys, and I'm like, we don't need toys. So they each have a Kindle or an iPad they take for movies and keeps them occupied. But for the most part, we try and fill up our trips with enough adventures that they don't need toys.
Yeah. A good clue, like one of the ones we've always personally used, that you've had a good vacation or a good trip, is when your kids say to you, like at the end of the day, like, I need to go to, like, I'm tired, I want to go to bed. Because most kids, they'll just fight through their tiredness and be a grump or something, and just want to stay up or whatever. But I can't tell you that more and more we see, the more we fill up the day and do exciting things, they reach that point where they say, I'm ready for bed.
All right, so do you have any advice for parents with young kids, similar to ours, who are afraid to go on adventures because their kids are too young?
Yeah.
Kind of how we were.
Yeah.
Not too long
Find a wife that'll drag you along because you don't really have much of a choice. No, I'm kidding.
No.
I don't know. As far as advice goes, just, I think a lot of an adventure, and it's called an adventure for a reason, or, on these vacations, these holidays that you might take, you got to step out of your comfort zone a little bit. And I spend a lot of time with my kids because of our jobs, and most of the time while she's at work, I'm at home being Mr. Mom. So I don't look forward to, well, at least I didn't look forward to knowing that I was going to have to travel with the children for 10 hours plus in a vehicle or by airplane. And it has definitely, the more we do it, like we said, the kids have gotten better at it, I've gotten better at it, and really I was your biggest hang up. So if you've convinced me to go along more on these trips and experience it and relax and have fun for myself too. And again, it's the experience, it's the memories that we're making that's what's going to last forever. The photos, hopefully we keep those forever, and the videos, but we're putting memories into our children and into ourselves that you can't make them, or you can't make them up, I should say. You have to try a little bit.
Create them.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid just because they're young that they can't do it. I mean, especially when we were in Canada and we were on some pretty rough terrain, we just not doing it wasn't an option, and the kids rose to the occasion. They will rise to the occasion. You just have to be willing to let them try it. I say most of the thing about us, not taking kids different places is our own fears, not their fears.
Very true.
I think it's our hesitations. We're afraid that we won't get to see everything we want to see or do everything we want to do, and you miss out on the joy of letting your kids experience things for the first time, and that to me is the most fun part.
Yeah. So obviously we're always looking for something new to do and new adventures to go on and new places to see. So what do we have in our future, Jessica?
That's a good question. question.
I'm sure she's already planned it out.
I obviously have a bucket list of places I would like to go. On it is Greece. I'd really like to go to Greece. So I would say I have two immediate goals. One is I want to teach our kids to snorkel, and I want to go someplace where they can snorkel, see maybe a coral reef, or just learn to experience the ocean in a different way. We've recently found a new love for the water and beautiful water, and I'm excited to see more, and I'm excited for my kids to do more. So I think now that Sydney and Piper can swim pretty well, Finn isn't there yet, but I think he'll get there sooner than the girls did. I want them to understand that there is a whole other world to see under the water. So I would like to go someplace cool for them to snorkel and be able to experience that. The other thing is, and like I mentioned, Greece, someday we would like to go to Germany. There's a million places we really want to go, but I want them to experience new cultures, like totally different than what we have here. So I want to go someplace where they can see that there is a life outside of the United States, and it is vastly different and the same altogether. I want them to appreciate things more, maybe appreciate the things we have more, and I think you can only really do that if you experience things outside of what they're used to seeing. I mean, yes, we've been out of the country, but we've never seen a totally different culture than what we're used to, and that is, I would say, in the near future, is something I would like for them to experience. And I would love for us to, somehow work in an opportunity to do some sort of service, but only so that the kids can learn that's important in life. So those are my goals for the near future. If you talk about like grand goals, I could list a million places, but we won't. We'll save that for another day. Anyway, so I hope we answered any questions you might have or didn't know you had. And if you have any other questions, feel free to comment below, and we would definitely answer them. So like I said, my hope for these videos is to inspire the average family who still has responsibilities in life to make time for each other, make time to go on adventures, and that it's a reachable goal for anybody.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and like us, follow us on Instagram.
And hit the little bell so you get notifications when we update and add a new video. So hopefully you enjoy watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye guys.